Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about Robert C. O'Brien, who was the Trump National Security Advisor from 2019 to 2021. And yes, he did stay until January 20th, well, because he wasn't as sissy. Now, the reason I want to talk about him today is because he has made a lot of very good endorsements. He has been ahead of Trump in many aspects. And when I was looking at the different races in the 2022 Senate election cycle, I could not avoid noticing that he endorsed Blake Masters very early on, J.D. Vance early on, and a lot of others. And not only have Trump endorsed many of the same candidates, but a lot of other people who are also very reliable when it comes to being a based conservative populist have also endorsed many of the same people as Robert C. O'Brien. And the reason I'm talking about him is because I think that his endorsements are the ones to watch. I mean, Trump's endorsements are going to affect the race a lot, but being endorsed by O'Brien really tells you a lot you need to know about this candidate and this candidate's policies. So let's just take a look. He has endorsed J.D. Vance in Ohio long before Trump, Adam Laxalt, Nevada, long time ago, well, not as early as I did probably, but early, and Blake Masters in the state of Arizona, as Trump just also did. Eli Bramer in Colorado, who of course would be the candidate with the most chance, the most likely to make it close or maybe even win. But of course he did not get the nomination, and they are going to nominate a Q boomer who is probably going to lose by 15 points. Eric Schmidt in Missouri. This one is interesting because I think there are many good candidates in Missouri. But I'm going to take a look at Eric Schmidt later. And then you have Carla Sands in Pennsylvania. Of course, in Pennsylvania it was just a mess with no clear, very good candidates. So she was actually one of the ones I also thought would be better. But that one went to us. And then you have a guy named Alex Gray in the Oklahoma. So let's take a look on Alex Gray. Okay, so the 2022 United States Senate special election in Oklahoma. Mark Wayne Mullin is running U.S. representative, and he is endorsed by Harold Hemp, who is one guy. But then you have Alex Gray, Robert C. O'Brien, yes, Matthew Whitaker, Pete Wilson, the greatest living governor that has ever existed before Ron DeSantis, Paul Gosar, Joe Arpaio. I mean, these are some of the most solid endorsements you can get. And then you have Mike Lee, who many would say can also make some bad endorsements. But that alone says you everything you need to know. Now, of course, he's polling at like 0%, and Mark Wayne Mullin is probably going to be the nominee because he has the name recognition of being a U.S. representative already. But yeah, there was also another one, and that was Missouri. So let's go to the state of Missouri and look at Eric Schmidt as the Republican candidate. Now, of course, Wiki Hartzler got some good ones. Josh Hawley is very good. Roger Marshall is also white-based. But then you have Eric Schmidt. Okay, so he's got Ted Cruz, which also endorsed McCormick, which is garbage. Robert C. O'Brien, Matthew Whitaker, Peter Thiel. That's a big one. And yeah, that's about it. But that alone also tells you that Eric Schmidt is definitely one of the preferred candidates in that race. Now, as we just saw, a lot of the people that Robert C. O'Brien had endorsed were going to be the nominees in different states. You had, of course, Laxalt down in Nevada, and you had J.D. Vance in Ohio. Blake Master is surging in Arizona. And this is, by the way, not my current prediction. This is by, I believe, LTE, who made this just a few days ago, and he thought because of the mess in Pennsylvania that one would flip, and he basically gave the Republicans a lot fewer seats than he did earlier on. And I am going to criticize that today because of something called the Biden approval rating. How unpopular is Joe Biden? Now he is averaging at about a bit less than 41, and then 54 in disapproval and 41 approximately in approval, which he is down by 13 minus. And then you have different ways to look at it. Of course, you have Martin Consult, but I'm not going to look at Martin Consult because Martin Consult is garbage. It's a crap poll which is completely useless, and we are instead going to look at the race to the White House. So, how many competitive Senate races do you see here with Biden in the Reds? Well, you obviously have him very unpopular in Florida. Well, his minus 19.9, so it's almost the dark red color. North Carolina is the dark red color, so he has an approval rating of 35, disapproval of 56. It has a lot to do with black voters not being satisfied, but again, then in Georgia, he's only down by 8. But that's nothing compared to Nevada, where he's down by 19, Arizona down by 11, and even in California, he's actually underwater. There is, of course, a competitive Senate race in Pennsylvania, but he's only down by 6.7. Not too good for us there. But otherwise, it looks like the Republicans have a very good chance to win in New Hampshire, where he's down by 15 or 14.5. They should definitely win in North Carolina. That should not even be a question. In Wisconsin, down by 10. Big deal. Not so much as he's down in Michigan, but yeah. And then you have Missouri, where he's down by 18. That's going to be red. Ohio, of course. And then Nevada is looking very good, even though Arizona is not looking as good. So, yeah, let me show you where I currently stand then because of that with the Senate races. Alright, so Iowa is safe, Ohio is likely, Missouri is likely simply because, Eric Greitens could make it closer. Wisconsin is likely, North Carolina and Florida is safe. Then you go to the state of Colorado, which I believe is... okay, it's safe now, and same with Illinois. Unfortunately, Republicans have completely failed in putting forward candidates that can make it closer in those states. Then you go to Washington, which... Murray is still leading by like 10. So it will really depend on Biden's unpopularity, and he's not that unpopular in Washington. He's actually in the plus. Oregon is also safe for the Democrats in the Senate race, but the governor's race could really become exciting. I still think that Nevada and Arizona is going to be red, though Arizona is a bit scary because of the polls are not showing anything at all too good for the GOP. Georgia is of course going to flip. I would like to put it likely, but since there are a few doubts about Walker, I'm going to put it lean. Oz is going to cruise to victory in Pennsylvania, easily going to defeat the loser John Fetterman. And the last one is New Hampshire, where, to be honest, I still think that it is going to flip. It does depend on the candidate, but with Hassan being underwater and Biden being very much underwater, I think we could see this. So it's still 54-46. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.